1190 AM, NBC News, and the best in specialty programming.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station or Clear Channel Communications.
Welcome to the Automotive News and Entertainment Show with your host, Jim Proctor. For the next hour, automotive news, reviews, and celebrity interviews. And now, here's your host, Jim Proctor.
Good morning, North Texas, and welcome to another edition of the AnE Show. This morning, I'm joined by the crew with Joel the Gorilla.
What up?
The coolest guy in Dallas, Paul Southon.
Hi there.
The guru, Josh Deaton.
Good morning, everybody.
And on the line this morning, well, wait a second. Can't forget about the Shoe. He just ran in. Good morning, Shoe.
Hey, I want to give a shout-out because James is not here to my WSU Shockers.
Chewbacca.
Okay. Well, on the line, we have the spin doctor, James Schaefer. Hey, James, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning, guys. And Shu, you stole my shout-out, but I got to give a shout-out to my 10-year-old daughter. It's her birthday today.
Oh, right.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, little spin doctor.
That's right.
We're going to jump back into some stuff that we were covering last week, something that we hadn't planned on doing, but there's just been kind of a little bit of a whirlwind that's rolled up around Dr. Jen Welter as far as being the first professional female football player in a contact position. And that's why James is hopping on the line with us today. What's popped up is that a gentleman has found some information that says that 2 years ago, a young lady by the name of Stephanie McKinney actually played linebacker for the Eastern Kentucky Drillers out of Pikesville, Kentucky. Now, the basis behind this story is that she won a sales contest for selling the most tickets, practiced with the team for a week, and went out and played in one game. And James, I know you've been doing some research on this. What else have you found out?
Well, let's start off, too, that Jen Welter is the first female professional contact player in men's professional football. Obviously, we all know that there are women's leagues out there. Jen was a member of a couple of teams and has played 13 years in professional football in a women's contact football league. But she's the first professional contact player in a men's professional football league. And so I talked to Jen last night, and there's this gentleman out there. He claims he's a legend in arena football, indoor football. I don't think anybody here in Texas has really heard of him, but I can't say that for a fact. But he is going on every news channel and, of course, contacted the AnE show because Jen is a friend of our show, so he's contacted the AnE show trying to discredit what she is actually doing. And she's really paving the way out there as a true football player. So talking with Jen, we talked about several things. She put out a blog probably a few months ago talking about lovers and haters, and he's definitely a hater, and she's kind of wearing that with a badge of honor. I don't know, Doc. It seems like really a publicity stunt that Jim's doing, trying to gain more attention to himself and really taking away what Jen is accomplishing in the sport. And I think really he's using Stephanie as kind of a pawn in this because I don't want to take anything away from Stephanie McKinney.
No, I definitely want to give. I mean, I want to give her props for what she did. I mean, to have the guts to go out there, and we have some video that's going to be up on our sites later on. That's going to show her stuff in practice time and what have you, so people can really get that. No, I mean, all the respect in the world to Stephanie McKinney for, like I said, having the guts to go out there and do what she did. I think the key here and the key difference here, is the fact that we use the word professional, and I think that's what look, he's found something. There's no question. We admit that. He has found, Stephanie. She did play in a game. My personal problem with that statement is that Stephanie McKinney, in my opinion, isn't a professional football player. I'll tell you this, she's a fire chief. And once again, big shout out to her. We know we love all our policemen and firemen. So, all the props to her.
Firewoman.
Yeah. Well, she's a fire chief, actually. She became chief, I think, in January. But, I mean, here's some stuff that we were able to come up with from this. And there was an interview on a station in Tampa that Stephanie was on. And we had some let's see if I can find it here. But they asked Stephanie if she felt like she was the first female non-kicker to play football in the men's league. And let me just read this quote from her. I do feel that way because I did play a game. I did practice. I did everything the guys did. The only difference between me and Jen is that she is on a regular team. She's playing every day. That's kind of like what she does. I just played one game. It was just a promotional thing, and I didn't get the chance. I was not given a chance to get on the team. Okay? So, to me, they're two completely different stories. Like I said, all the respect in the world to Stephanie McKinney for what she did. She was able to win this contest. She actually went out there and did it. I'm sure she got banged around in practice. And like I said, if you look at the video, she did. All the respect in the world to her. And, also the fact of finding this, obscure story. I mean, it does exist. My point of view on this is going to be the word professional. What do you think about that?
I think you're dead on, Jim. I mean, think about it. Tommy, in passing, has said, hey, Jim, you can suit up and play for us for the Texas Revolution. Well, does that make you a professional football player? Absolutely not.
I gave the example, James, just like you're saying. I gave the example of, if I won a contest to go sit in the cockpit of a fighter jet and I have a pilot behind me and he takes controls and takes me up in the air and then lets me use the controls for a few minutes, when we land, am I a certified fighter jet pilot?
Probably not.
Well, that depends where we're at, Guru. Because I know if you and I are traveling somewhere, you are letting everybody know that you've got your wings.
Oh yeah.
Hey, and I know,
that's a good point.
And I know Joel got a little bit of background information and dug up some background information on Stephanie. What were you able to find out, Joel?
During the time of the contest, she was actually a cheerleader for the Eastern Kentucky Drillers. So they had a contest going on to see who could. It was an open contest, so you could sell the most tickets, and the winner got to play in the upcoming game against the Lexington County Wolves on April 28th, 2012. And she ended up selling the most tickets. She was the only female to enter, and she sold the most tickets. She was invited as a guest player. They let her practice for the week. So there's video of her practicing with the team, and then they let her play in the game. And on the first play she was in, she actually recovered a fumble. The quarterback she played linebacker during the game. So the quarterback got hit. He lost the ball. She was at the right place at the right time. Picked the ball up, ran about 2 yards. She said she didn't know what to do when she had it. She was scared out of her mind. So she just and she's kind of holding it out but then she gets hit and goes down. Looks like she lost the ball again. I couldn't tell if if she fumbled it or not, or if she was down. And then
she also recorded a tackle or two in that game.
On the next series, she recorded a tackle by the running back ran through her and he tripped her or he just brought her down.
Well, I mean,
so it still counts.
Yeah, but heck, we've seen that in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, once again, props to her. I mean, great job. All the respect to her. I think the Drillers won that game like 105 to 8. Yeah. So
and she wasn't on the Drillers. Let's make that clear.
Yes, she was.
Or
Yeah, she's on the Eastern Kentucky
Oh,
Drillers.
okay.
Yeah, no.
Well, let's say, I mean, again, so, okay, she played. What we're talking about is a professional player. And Jen Welter is a professional player by all means of the words that we're using, everything. She actually had to make the team. They offered, the Texas Revolution offered her to come out and just practice with the team, and she said, no, I'm not going to just practice with the team. Let me try to make the team. If I make the team, great. If not, cut me. And so she went on the Arsenio Hall show, and matter of fact, she told Arsenio, she said, look, if I get cut, this is your fault. She had to worry just like every other player. Did she have a roster spot or not? And she earned a roster spot. She's not out there for Jen Welter. She's out there. She knows she's not going to go to the NFL. She's 36 years old. She's 5'2", 130 pounds. She's not going to be picked up in the NFL. However, she knows that by her being on the team, by her contributing to the team, by her doing everything day in and day out that everybody on the Texas Revolution is doing, she knows that she is going to draw attention. And her goal, her ultimate goal, and this is what we were talking about last night, is that her ultimate goal is to shine a light, not on herself, but to utilize the media attention that she's gaining to show the talents that Solomon and some of the other players are doing in hopes that they can further their career and move to that next level. And that's what really makes Jen such an amazing person. The other thing, too, Stephanie McKinney was not only a cheerleader, but she was also in the marketing department. So anytime you get into some of these smaller leagues, you'll see players doing just about everything out there. And Stephanie was in the marketing department. And so obviously this was a marketing ploy. Hey, nothing wrong with that. That's great if you're getting any kind of attention. But Stephanie wasn't a real professional football player. And I think that's what we've always said, Doc.
Hey, James, can you hang around for a minute?
Sure.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break here on the AnE show. We're gonna come back and we're going to continue this discussion about what is a professional right here on the AnE show.
I was talking about the contract where
I haven't gotten to that right.
I wasn't talking about winning. I knew she was on the drill. I was talking about the contract being like signed up.
Don't know.
I found the video of her playing. So,
I couldn't find it. It's not easy to find.
I could find a picture of her.
Which file do I need to grab out of this Dropbox, or a couple of them?
Oh, for Son of God?
I haven't had a chance to listen to it.
Okay, well, we should play the whole thing anyway, right? Because it's like 9 minutes long, you know, right?
There are two files.
Yeah. Probably either one of them has the audio on it, right? Because they're both video files, right?
No, you sent me just the audio on one for Son of God.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's probably it then. I just forwarded along the files I did.
Okay. Yeah, that one's around 300 and something megabytes.
Okay.
That should be a good chunk of. Actually, that's a really long.
Yeah.
Is there a place you can think of? Well, I mean, how much of that is stuff from the beginning, is stuff from the movie, or is that just the whole interview is 9 minutes?
Yeah, the whole interview is 9 minutes. It's pretty much all about like the movie and what they had to do.
There's a 300 megabyte, and there's also like a 30 megabyte.
Okay.
And the 30 megabyte.
See if you can find a spot. See if you can find a place about halfway through it, just when we're listening to it.
Okay.
If you hear something where it's coming up where you think you can cut it off clean, and then you just jump back in and you can see the rest of the interview, and then we'll go in.
So what's the cutoff on minutes? Should I, if I find something that's 9 minutes, should I go ahead and grab it?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, but just cut it off about 4. Just find a spot where somebody's finished a sentence and cut it off.
All right, very
We'll
good.
go from there.
I'll do that next segment.
All right.
Okay, thank you. I love your old porn camera.
Dude, man, this thing kicks butt. It's analog. It's better than any digital thing you can get.
Yeah.
I've got digitals that doesn't perform anything like this. Plus, if I can get it all analog, I've got digital copy and
not having a
there we go.
way to prove that she was signed up on the team. This guy says that she signed up on the team, but we don't have any documentation.
20 seconds.
On that. That's what I was trying to say, but it sounded like that.
Let's go.
You're listening to the Automotive News and Entertainment Show, right here on 1190 AM.
Welcome back to the AnE show. We're going to get back into this discussion a little bit about Jen Welter and Stephanie McKinney. James, you still with us?
I'm still with you, Doc.
Okay. One of the questions, and I've been told that she did. I don't know if she did. As far as the Stephanie McKinney thing again goes. And like I said, I'm going back to the fact of, and what I'm placing my stance on and the difference between the two is the word professional. This was a contest. I don't think that, I think the initial play for the Drillers as far as, a publicity stunt or what have you was just having this ticket sales and being able to have somebody come in and do it. I think the fact that a female ended up doing it just, landed more, more gunpowder to this situation, and it's probably very positive for them that she did it, that she was able to do it, that she went through with it. Did she sign a contract? Did she get paid? I've been told that she did, but I don't know that for a fact.
I got the definition of professional in front of me. It's adjective. It's following an occupation as a means of livelihood or for gain.
And, this is kind of what we want to leave up to the public. We're stating our opinions on here and not stressing fact one way or the other, but we're kind of leaving it up to the listeners, to the public, to the fans out there, to make your own decision on what you think as far as, the differences between, once again, like I said, all the props in the world to Stephanie McKinney, what she did a great job. She did her job. But to me, there's just a huge difference between what she did and what Jen Welter is doing right now. And like I said, I think all that falls back on the word professional.
Absolutely. It is what it is. She was a cheerleader / marketing rep, marketing management, and she participated in a publicity stunt that earned her the right, by selling enough tickets, earned her the right to put on pads and get on the field. Versus, and if that is the definition of a professional football player, then so be it. But I don't believe that that's the definition of a professional football player. I believe the definition of a professional football player is one that signs a contract, has to earn, just like everybody else listening to the show, has to earn the right to keep their job. So does Jen Welter. If she is not good enough to play with the boys, as she always says, then she will be cut and she will not be on that team. However, according to Tim Brown, who was on our show last week, and Tommy and the coach and everybody else, she has earned the right to not only suit up, but to also play for the team. And I'll tell you what, I don't care, even in my best day, I would not want to suit up against her. She would knock the crap out of me, and I think just about everybody in the studio. Maybe we can get our beautiful actress model Jen Reed in against Jen.
That I don't think that would be pretty, man.
See, that was my point.
I don't think that would be pretty.
That was my point when I said that she wasn't on the Drillers team. Did she sign a contract? And it's kind of like, Jim Welters, she lives and breathes, and that's what she does. She plays football.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think from some of the from some of the comments that we've been able to get, through Tim Brown, through Tommy, and our contacts with the Texas Revolution, the fact comes out that she's not just, good enough to go out there and compete and practice, but she's probably really good for that locker room. And, you've always heard in professional sports, you've heard of great locker room people. And there's no question. I would think from a motivational side and from the way the team has rallied around her, I think there's more to it than just her going out there and competing on the field. I think she's there for more reasons than that. Because, this team, at least talking to Tim and even talking to Jen, I mean, they think that this team has an opportunity to compete this year, and of course winning is really the key in that league. I don't know that if they didn't see, of course you can go from a publicity side for this, but if they didn't see some added value to having Jen in there every day, having Jen in the locker room, hearing about how the guys have kind of rallied around her and bringing this team closer together, and the relationship she's building, with these guys, they're not looking at her as someone who's taking up a roster spot that some other guy could have. I mean, they're supporting her. She's supporting them. She's very intelligent. She's very well-spoken. And I think she brings more to the team than just, on the field stuff.
Yeah, you've got it. She is a true professional in every sense of the word. We were talking about that as far as when she goes out and talks with kids. Just the whole gamemanship, the whole way to take on any obstacle or any challenge in life. And she really, again, she's 36 years old. Most football players have retired 6 years prior to that, and really 10 years prior to that. And she's still playing at a very high level that 99% of the public will never, ever experience. And she's out there, she's competing at a high level, she's doing a great job, but she's giving all of those years of experience playing for the United States, playing for the various professional teams, winning 2 gold medals, winning 2 world championships. And she's giving that knowledge to these young players, 21, 22-year-old players, and passing that on to them. And I really think she's going to help further their career as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it, and that was kind of the point that I was getting to. I think she's worth her weight in gold, and whatever she does with this, I mean, I think is a great thing. So once again, I mean, like I said, we're talking to the public, and we're wanting everybody to come to your own conclusions about this. We will absolutely acknowledge Stephanie McKinney as the first female to go out and play professional football in a men's league. However,
in a contact position. Yes. Non-kicker. Yes.
And I think what at least my opinion, and it doesn't have to be everybody's opinion here on the show or at the table or anybody out there, my opinion is that Jen Welter is the first professional female football player to play in the men's league in a contact position. I think they're 2 different definitions. I think they're 2 different things. I think they set 2 different precedents. I think they're both they're we've had the opportunity to meet and talk to Jen. We haven't had the opportunity to meet and talk to Stephanie. We may have that opportunity in the future, and I hope we do. I hope we can set something up to talk to her in the future. Sound like 2 fantastic women who have done 2 fantastic things. But like I said, my position is that Jen is the first professional in a contact position.
And Doc, I want to make one more point. So this guy, and I don't want to give him any more publicity because that's exactly what he's trying to do. But this Terry gentleman who claims to be a legend in indoor football, like I said, I've never heard of him, and I don't think most people have. But anyways, while he's driving his little BMW Roadster out on Highway 19, as he claims, and that unfortunately, I think what he's trying to do is take away from what Jen Welter is doing and take away from what Stephanie had the courage to go out and do. And that's really the travesty here, is that you've got, just like Jen said, there's a fine line between lovers and haters. And he certainly is a hater, but she wears that with a badge of honor. She says, hey, if I'm doing something that's really special out there, I'm going to have my teammates who love me, and I'm going to have the opposition who ends up hating me. And he's certainly a hater, and whatever his intentions are or his agenda is, it really is sad because Jen.
Well, I kind of get what he's going for here. I haven't seen and watched all the interviews and read all the articles that have been written. There's been stuff, as far as Jen's concerned, all over the country. One of his points was that she was being pushed as the first, female player to play in the men's league, which, we acknowledged last week that part is not true. Because of the kickers and the non-contact things. When we talked to Jen last week, our line was that she was the first one in a contact position. And like exactly. I said, coming back and, he says, Jen's the sixth. Well, you want to know what? He's right. Jen is the sixth. She is the sixth female to play in the league. However, 4 of them are kickers. We've never said anything outside of the fact that she was the first one in a contact position, because we knew about the kickers. I don't know about what the rest of the press, media, or what have you reported on it, but I know what we reported. Now he's pulled up this story, with Stephanie McKinney, and you know what? We acknowledge that Stephanie McKinney did it, but I don't acknowledge Stephanie McKinney's situation as being a professional, and I don't put it in the same classification with what Jen Welter's doing. Anyway, look, James, man, we appreciate you calling in. We're going to have to take a break here. We'll get back to this at another time. We'll be right back on the AnE show. Coming up next, we've got the coolest guy in Dallas.
The Automotive News and Entertainment Show, right here on 11.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ben. Anyway, coming up next, we've got the coolest guy in Dallas and his interviews with the movie Son of God. What happened?
Started rolling early. His elbow hit the switch.
Well, no, I was well past. What happened?
I don't know. I just said his elbow probably hit the switch.
The audio file that I have is just him mic'd up. I can't hear any of the interview.
Oh, really?
That's all I've got. And I can't open up the other file.
Okay, well, just go with something else.
Okay, yeah. I'll just discuss the interview.
Why don't we talk about the interview, and then I'm sure you can go into some stuff. We talked about this that we probably should have planned for this.
Yeah.
Just go into some Oscar stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go. You got the top 5 movies, which you got Dallas Buyers Club,
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street,
Yeah.
12 Years as a Slave.
Nebraska.
I don't know if Nebraska they're saying is in the top 5 as far as.
But yeah, it goes up for best picture. I think. We can.
Well, out of the 9, but they say there's really 5 in the running. Just kill the interview then.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
All right. And we can talk about how he's doing so far, because they just updated the numbers this morning.
Yeah, like I said, we
Jacked up.
month-end close for all of us yesterday, man. None of us have seen the interview, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have to.
I don't know what the fuck.
Son of God, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to kick it to you. Just go in and talk about the interview, and then when you get done with that, go directly into some Oscar stuff, and I'll start talking about some of those top movies, especially the ones I've seen. What's the other one? It's Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
12 Years as a Slave.
I have this picture's pulled up. It's American Hustle.
American Hustle.
Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club. Gravity, Her, Nebraska.
Now, they say that McConaughey and Leto are going to kill it.
Yes.
They think McConaughey's going to get Best Actor and Leto's going to get Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
Is that what you believe?
I think so. I would put money down on Jared Leto. I never know.
I should have had you.
30 seconds.
I should have had you out at that thing yesterday with the broadcast. Gary Cogill was out there.
Oh, was he? Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to be there, but he was talking about it a little bit.
Yeah. There you go. Keep that up. Taste the buns.
All right, welcome back to the AnE show right here on 1190 KFXR. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook at The AnE Show, Twitter. Also check out our website at theaneshow.com. We've had a little bit of, guess you heard going to the end of that break, we've had a little bit of issues up here with some things, with some servers and such. So we didn't have the Paul's recorded interview for the Son of God, but we do have the coolest guy in Dallas, Paul Salfin, here with us to tell us a little bit about that movie that just opened up.
That's right. I'll just spare you my impersonation of those two. But Mark Burnett and Roma Downey, great husband and wife team, came to town to talk about Son of God, which is kind of the I hate to say oddball movie at the box office this weekend, but it's definitely the dark horse out there. I mean, of course, it's going up against Liam Neeson's new film, Nonstop, and then of course there's the Lego Movie, which has just been killing it the last few weeks. But Son of God is basically, if you've seen the Bible miniseries on the History Channel, it's a longer version of the Jesus portion. So some people kind of scoffed at, they've seen a big chunk of this, on already. But the film itself is very powerful. It's people are really, really enjoying it, and they've got a lot of support from the religious community. So people are doing what's called these theater buyouts. So they're getting church groups together, other groups, and what they're doing is they're buying out the entire theater. So if it's got 14 screens, they're having 14 screens of Son of God sold out. So it's doing big numbers so far this weekend. In fact, it was the highest grossing on Friday night. And I think last night, last I heard, Nonstop kind of tipped the scale a little bit. But it could very well end up being the #1 movie in the country, which is really impressive because they did it very low budget, very grassroots. And Mark Burnett, who is like the reality king. I mean, he kind of started it all with Survivor. He's using all his good influence and everything that he has, all of his power, to go out and tirelessly promote this movie. So I'd like to see him win. And couldn't be a nicer guy either.
Yeah, I've heard there's been a lot of talk about this movie, and it's certainly something that's on my list to go out and see. But I don't know. I don't know what to, like you said. It's not. You said it's part of the Jesus story or movie or what have you. I mean, how is that connected? I mean, where does it pick up? Is it?
Yeah, it's the entire thing from his birth to his death. But I guess in the Bible miniseries, there is a shorter version of the story. So basically what it is that Jesus section from the Bible miniseries plus an extra half hour that you haven't seen before. So for people that have seen it, then it's just a whole different thing to having the movie-going experience, I think. I'd love to see things on the big screen.
Is it as graphic as some of the others have been?
Like The Passion with the Mel Gibson's movie?
Yeah, it's pretty graphic, but not in a completely historical way. It's not. I mean, The Passion was absolutely is hard to watch in many places, but this was not quite as hard. I mean, basically, they're trying to take his entire life and tell it in a very short story. It's not a section of his life. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really interesting. And the guy, Diogo, who plays Jesus is really, really good Jesus. And, one thing I really appreciated about the film is that they didn't make it some star-studded thing where you see, I don't know, John Malkovich in there or something like that kind of takes you out of it. It's bunch of kind of no-name actors, although Roma Downey is in it playing Mary. But besides that, there's no one else you've ever seen before, which I don't know. I think is kind of cool.
Well, it's exciting. Certainly, like I said, it's certainly on my list of stuff to go out and see. I understand you have some other stuff you want to talk about. I mean, we have the Oscars coming up tomorrow night, and I know some of the I've seen most of the movies that are up for Best Picture. I mean, American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club, Gravity. One of the big things that I've heard, and I saw. I was at a show. It's called The Broadcast yesterday, and Gary Cogill was on there, and I think his belief is that Dallas Buyers Club, Matthew McConaughey, and Jared Leto have an excellent opportunity to win Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. I know you and your group have some votes in this. I mean, can you give us any of the inside scoop to which way you think stuff's leaning?
Sure, yeah. I mean, if the other award shows, especially the Golden Globes, are any indication, because Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto both won for their performances, I think it's a pretty safe bet. I would say that Jared Leto is an even safer bet. I would put money down that he's going to win. The Best Supporting Actor, I don't think is as strong of a. There's not another contender that's as strong as him. But the Best Actor, Matthew's got some pretty good competition out there. Of course, some people like Christian Bale. Bruce Dern was incredible. Chiwetel Ejiofor for 12 Years a Slave. But Leonardo DiCaprio it could unseat him. But if you think about what went into that role, just losing the 50 pounds and I mean, if you saw it, he just looks awful in the film. And he put everything he had into it. And I think that's what you want to see in a Best Actor is when they become the person in that role.
Well, I've seen some other reports, and I loved Leonardo in The Wolf of Wall Street. Okay, but a lot of the reports that I've seen based on that are some things that may, affect, what that movie wins, or even Leonardo's state, is the fact that I think they said there's 504 F-bombs in that movie, and then somebody said they went back and counted again and found 2 more. And there's there's been people who have said, there's actually been people who said that they walked out of the movie because it was just, too over the top, too in your face. And my opinion of it is, if you're going to go over the top and you're in your face, you go all the way, and they definitely did in the Wolf of Wall Street. But I'm wondering, do you think that could affect Leonardo's chance to win?
I think so, because the Academy is made up of all kinds of people that are in the business, former actors. I mean, you've got actors from decades and decades ago in there, and that may not be their type of movie. In fact, at a Academy screening, I understand that Leonardo and Scorsese were at. There were people that were downright confrontational about it. So you may just get people that are just kind of voted out as it is, just because it's too much. But I would be happy if Leonardo won. You know what? You're right. He was fantastic in it. The movie is close to 3 hours long, and he was in pretty much every scene, and he was great in it. So I would be happy if he won as well. But I don't know. I think it might be Matthew McConaughey's time.
Are you at all surprised? I guess there was one actress that I was kind of surprised hasn't had more notoriety as far as winning that award, and that's Sandra Bullock for Gravity. Yeah. I know everybody kind of loved that movie, and based on the way she, that movie starts out, where she feels so small in space and she's so timid, and then what she becomes at the end. I mean, I thought she did a great job in that movie. And I'm a little bit surprised that there hasn't been a little bit more talk about her.
Yeah, I think she's got a really good chance at winning. I mean, she was great in it as well. I mean, you also have to think about the cast in that. There almost was none. George Clooney was in it for a bit. And then, of course, I think there's the voice of Ed Harris. But besides that, it's really her movie, and she really shines in it. And in the wrong hands, that could have been a total disaster. I mean, let's think about another film, Robert Redford's film. that a lot of people were buzzing about before, saying that, oh, this is his return, whatever. And it was honestly one of those movies that you just kind of it couldn't feel any longer.
Yeah.
All is lost. Have you seen this?
No, I didn't see
Okay.
that.
So
Where he's
basically,
on the ship, right?
yeah, he's
on the boat.
Yeah, he's marooned at sea, and you're not quite sure why, and you're not quite sure where he's going, or even, there's so much of him just eating and just hanging out and grunting. Like, he's got no one to talk to. Like, at least in Castaway, Tom Hanks had Wilson.
Yeah.
The volleyball, but there's just no interaction. It's just him kind of looking glum for way, way too long, and it was like watching paint dry.
Well, you brought up Tom Hanks, and I
Yes.
mean, we have to talk about the movie Captain
Yeah.
Phillips, because to be honest with you, when that movie came out and I saw that movie, I said, "Oh my gosh! I mean, this has got to be drop dead. This thing's gonna sweep up every award." And then, of course, American Hustle came out and Dallas Buyers Club came out, and now it's kind of got set back a little bit.
Yeah, he's off the list.
But yeah, I
Best
mean,
actor.
his role in that I thought was incredible. Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow night, watching it tomorrow night, and seeing what happens. We're going to go to our last break right here on the AnE show, and we'll be right back with more here on 1190 KFXR.
Yeah, I was surprised he.
Okay, scramble quickly. What are we going to do?
Do you want to talk about? I've got the Lexus ES300H. I could talk a little bit about that. Just for a minute, and then, but also I thought it might have an entertaining segment, that cruise that I was just on. Have you guys ever been on a cruise?
Yes.
I mean,
awesome.
It's kind of funny,
Yeah.
but the way
You know what?
it's like a hotel.
Do
float,
this.
so.
Let me kick you into the Chevy story, because
Okay.
I definitely want to hit that up. Chevy's talking about going to the aluminum body.
We can
Kick into that, and then at some point when we start to dry up, kick it to Paul and say, "Hey, Paul, I heard you got a new vehicle. Tell us a little
Okay.
bit about it." And that should probably, by the time we get done with that, we'll probably wind it out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But if we had time, it would be funny to talk about the cruise, or we could save it for another time. But I think the whole cruise lifestyle is hilarious. There's these old people that get on the boat and they never leave. They go from cruise to cruise, and some of them don't even get off the boat, at the ports. And there's a morgue on board.
I didn't know that. There's a morgue?
Yeah. I guess there kind of has to be, because the head of PR was on with us. I go, okay, I got to know. What if one of these old guys expired? She goes, oh, we have more.
When Gus
went on that-
hey, when Gus went on that cruise, the guy died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, I think they were in port when it happened.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
they
they
take
have
them
got
off at the, wherever the next stop is. But, the first 2 days you leave from Galveston, you're at sea. So if someone expires, then you just got to kind of put them on ice. It's crazy.
So no wrapping up in red sheets and over the side they go.
That's what I thought. I thought they just
Kind of like Shark Bait. Osama.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cruise is awesome. I liked it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff to do on there. Plus, you get unlimited food. Just
Yeah. They don't even
great
check
food.
you. Like, if you stay at an all-inclusive, you show your ID and then or whatever.
Yeah.
This is like, you just
Well, it's kind of hard to get people on the boat after you're already sailing.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, no, but I mean to keep track of the food. And
Wait, James was attacking the guy, wasn't he?
What? He was, man. I was quiet. Y'all did actually really good on that, so. That was really good. I bet that guy is just effing twisted right now, though. If he was listening. When James was just wearing him out. His little BMW on Highway 19.
Just keep in mind, we don't have much time because we run over every segment so far.
We're on our.
So
Yeah, we're almost.
just
You're tuned in to the Automotive News and Entertainment Show, right here on 1190 AM.
welcome back to Technical Difficulties Radio, right here on the AnE show on 1190 KFXR. This morning, The guru Josh Deaton has a little information about Chevy and some information they have coming out on their new truck. What do you got over there?
Well, Chevy and GM is kind of doing what we talked about a few weeks ago. They're starting to make an all aluminum body, and it looks like they're basically going to do it on the truck version. And Wall Street Journal reports that the automaker has locked in contracts with aluminum suppliers Alcoa and Novelis to supply the next generation of Chevrolet and GM trucks due in 2018.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got to be a few years down the road, considering they just unveiled their brand new truck.
They're trying to basically lower the gas mileage on the vehicle.
Yeah, same stuff we talked about with the Ford.
Yep. So, with that being said, we had an issue with or talked about Ford and the insurance rates possibly going up as well, because there's less body shops that are working on are able to work on aluminum bodies, and Ford is actually having a lot of their techs certified to be able to work on these. So there's no telling on the insurance rates, but from what I understand, there's less companies out there or less body shops that can fix the vehicle. So
sometimes in situations like that, it's not always best to be first when it comes to a major change in something like that. I mean, who knows? Ford could have some serious road bumps with that change, and you would think by 2018 that all that'll probably be ironed out, and it'll probably be a much easier, much smoother move for General Motors to be able to do. Like you said, from a body shop standpoint, from a mechanical standpoint, from what have you. So I'm sure they should have a leg up.
Yeah, I agree. And we were talking about the insurance. I actually did a deal this morning, found out the least and most expensive cars to insure, and lo and behold, the Jeep Wrangler Sport is number one with the lowest premium. So Jeep actually made the top three. So Jeep Wrangler Sport is $1,080 per year premium. The Honda Odyssey is $1,103 on average monthly or yearly premium, and the Jeep Patriot Sport at the third lowest at $1,104.
Well, I have to come back and say that I'm actually surprised about the Wrangler.
I am too, but
you would think
since I drive a Wrangler, I like it. I get to enjoy the low premiums.
You would think from the aspect of knowing that it's an off-road vehicle. I mean, it's built for off-road use. I mean, we know lots of people who buy them and never go off-road, but
James.
I mean, you'd still think that Yeah, James, but I mean, you'd think that, if he wants to go off-road, he makes you drive yours, right?
Well, no, he claims to go off-road when when it rains the day before, the water from the road and the dirt mixed in will get on his vehicle, and he'll come tell me, look, I'm actually utilizing my Jeep. I'm taking it off-road. And I'm like, dude, you're not fooling me. I'm on to you. All right. But on the other end of that spectrum, the Nissan GTR is the highest, and it's a $103,000 vehicle that's $3,169 a year. The BMW M6, $3,065, and the Mercedes-Benz CL550 4MATIC all-wheel drive is $3,019. So, there's no telling what Ford and Chevy's rates are going to look like with this aluminum deal, but I could just assume if there's less, people that can fix it, then they've got to go up.
Well, yeah, and then, of course, like you said, I mean, you're talking about body shops, you're talking about parts, you're talking about parts availability.
Yeah.
I think that the story that came out from Ford was that there were only going to be certain certified body shops that, could even handle these things. And I'm sure that's going to be an initial deal, and that'll grow over time, which is, like I said, General Motors, if they actually do this and actually come out with this in 2018, will probably have a big leg up. Versus, the little bit of a hill to climb that Ford may have, with this vehicle. Speaking of vehicles, I understand that the coolest guy in Dallas has made a purchase and riding around in something new. What'd you get there?
Actually, this is a Lexus ES300H, and it's one of their hybrid vehicles, and I love it. It's so smooth. I drive a Cadillac right now, but it's this is. It's like driving a couch is what I always say about the Cadillac. But this is so smooth.
Are you going green?
I might be. My My good friend, may he rest in peace, Larry Hagman, always said it's the right thing to do.
Go green.
Yeah, well, he always drove the Prius, even though he had a nice Porsche in the garage.
Well, which is such a big change from his oil baron, character in Dallas and what he did, and like you said, we certainly miss him. I mean, he's certainly missed. But so what do you think about the Lexus?
I really like it. Like I said, it's so smooth. In fact, it's got the push button, and you can't even quite be sure. It's so quiet. You can't even quite be sure that it's on. There's been a couple of times I've pressed the button a couple of times just to make sure. But it's got a little kick to it. It's got 200 horsepower, and being that I drive around a lot, it's got 40 miles per gallon on the gas.
That's great.
which is great. And one of the best features, I think, is the intuitive parking assist, because it helps you out, know exactly where you were. I got trapped in my parking garage this weekend, and it really, really helped because I was getting really frustrated. I also tested out its horn. So, and it's got these nice little things on the windows. You guys probably have these, but it lets you know if someone's getting a little bit too close to you. It starts dinging.
I know Shoemaker's got that on his Jeep.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know how it is. People are so busy texting now. It's so important. And, I always thought of Lexus as more of like just kind of a more luxury car. This is a great family car.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of space and
big trunk, too.
It's smooth. And right now, it smells really new.
You got that new car smell rolling through there.
Doesn't smell like the Gorilla.
Thanks.
But yeah, I love it. I would recommend it.
Now,
have you driven one of these, Gorilla?
No.
No.
Now, Gorilla, you did something on Nissan about the rear view.
Yeah, it looks like
camera.
Nissan has some technology coming out. They're gonna basically put a camera in the back of the car, right on top of the rear windshield, and that will work as your rear view mirror. So your rear view mirror, what you see is what the camera's showing.
Yeah.
Pretty.
That's that was just a matter of time. It's kind of like the Dorito taco from Taco Bell. Someone had to make it at some point. So, but yeah, that's pretty interesting. You were talking about that it actually will dim the headlights. So if it's nighttime driving, it's not just going to be blinding you, but it'll actually dim it.
Yep.
I'm just picturing the Gorilla flying down the road, windows down, the mullet flying in the wind.
A Gorilla with the mullet.
Yeah. Well, I think you can kind of see, even though he doesn't technically have a mullet, it's the spirit of the mullet. You can almost see it when you're looking
wave.
at him. Yeah, and I know I hate to say this because we're on terrestrial radio, but I love that they have the Sirius XM, the Hair Nation, because I'd sit there and blast it, and my mullet that's not there is flowing in the wind. This nice Kentucky waterfall, it's going.
I knew there was no possible way
we
in
can't
the
get
world
out of
we were
mullets.
going to go 2 weeks in a row.
There is no way.
We got through last week without talking about mullets.
It's a new sensation. It's a new thing.
It's an absolute nuisance. Now, you might as well just go ahead and start talking about cheese toast again.
Oh, yeah, by the way.
But, you're talking about that camera. I mean, obviously, you have lots of vehicles out there that, have the backup cameras that, read through your nav and stuff that's on your dash. I think, this is a great idea. And it's certainly I think it's the next generation of taking that backup camera idea and moving it to, a different option. Do you have any idea how that works as far as a backup camera is? Is it just everything through the rear view mirror now?
Yeah, the whole rear view mirror is the camera lens. Is what the camera sees. It's not.
So you basically eliminate. Basically, what they did is they took the backup camera, remounted it.
Yeah.
Put some upgrades on it, and instead of it going through your stereo system set up in the middle of your dash, it's going to be on your rear view mirror.
Yep.
Great idea.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
Great idea.
It's just a matter of time. So
the backup camera is so helpful anyway. You're talking about people texting. People are idiots. They're always looking down. They never look where they're going. So that at any time, if you didn't have that backup camera, how many people have probably been hit because of that?
Oh yeah.
Well, we obviously don't condone texting and driving, but
never.
But you talk about. I mean, you're talking about the backup camera. I mean, I live in a cul-de-sac, and there's 15 kids that live in this cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And they'll be out there in the cul-de-sac playing, and I mean, they range from ages of 3 to 12, and they're out there running around. And of course, I have this long, curvy driveway, and I mean, it's really fantastic to use, especially from that standpoint. Instead of turning your head, looking in the rearview mirror, looking in the side view mirror, making sure. I mean, you get such a better view. So I mean, it's a great safety feature on all these vehicles that have come out, and like you said, we're going to the next generation. Well, that's it for today. We're going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I want to thank Ben for running the board today, getting us through our technical difficulties. Check us out next week on the AnE show right here on 1190 KFXR.
KFXR Dallas, with all the top news and business stories of the day. It's all on 1190 AM.